On June 4th, 1974, the Cleveland Indians offered American baseball fans one of the most outlandish sports stories in modern American history. On that night, the baseball team offered its fans 10-cent cups of beer. It should be no surprise to anyone that the fans indulged. Not only were the beers only 10 cents, but there was essentially no limit. You could only buy 6 at a time, but there was no mechanism in place for limiting a person from coming back for another 60-cent six-pack. I can't believe this went so horribly wrong, but it wasn't an outlandish idea. Since the 1960s, beer nights had become a popular event for major league and minor league teams. The Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros had previously done them, and they had become a regular part of the Milwaukee Brewers' promotional schedule. The Indians had hosted several before the 1974 season, and that year they had put 4 of them on the schedule. The context of this night really matters a great deal. Just 1 week before the infamous night, the Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians had clashed in Texas, and there had been a bench-clearing brawl in that matchup. There was significant bad blood between the two teams, and in the aftermath of that fight, the then Texas Rangers manager Billy Martin had said, "I'm not worried about retaliation from Cleveland. They don't even have enough fans there to worry about." The Cleveland franchise was miserable at the time, so the drama surrounding the Texas Rangers game and the offer of cheap beer brought an enthusiastic and raucous crowd through the turnstiles. On that evening, Cleveland only had 50 security guards on standby for a crowd of 25,134 fans. And they were intoxicated.
Cleveland fans have been known to take their alcohol seriously. So then, as we were kind of sitting in, and I was sitting with my best friend at the evening, he had his girlfriend with him, and we were sitting somewhere between first base and the right field foul pole. And we were up a little bit so that we could actually see what was going on. And the first indication to me that I picked up that this was going to go nuts this week or that night was the fact that a lady hops out of her seat, gets onto the field because the netting at that time only covered behind home plate. Hops onto the field. Now, I didn't see this because basically her back was towards us. She flashes the crowd and then runs up to the home plate umpire wanting to be, I guess, Morgana, have to go out and lay a big smooch on the home field umpire.
Umpires need loving too.
Yes, they did. And it just got progressively worse as it goes on.
Long lines began to form around the beer kegs, and the undermanned staff of mainly scantily clad young females were chased away. Beer was now free. But in the 9th inning, it appeared that Cleveland were going to complete an improbable comeback to defeat the hated Texas Rangers. But a drunk fan had other plans. He rushed the field and tried to take the hat off of one of the Rangers players. He was punched in the face. Blood was everywhere.
They just came out and they were trying to steal my hat and my glove and other things, and then they got a little more violent, and then I just had to protect myself a little bit, so I defended myself against a couple of them. Then looked like America invading China. It was looked like about 3,000 of them started coming out, and then I thought it might have been a little bit of trouble. Then I looked up, and luckily the Cleveland Indians were running to my defense, and along with the rest of my team.
Hundreds of fans rushed the field. Many of them were nude, and many of them were violent.
Has to be 200 people and more coming on the field. Has got some kid on the ground, and he is really administering a beating.
That fella came up and hit him from behind is what happened.
I have never seen anything as disgusting as this.
I haven't either.
The Rangers manager told his team to grab their bats and go defend their teammate. While most players escaped major harm, Indians pitcher Tom Hilgendorf's head was split open by a chair thrown from the stands.
Well, I think it was pretty poor timing for a beer night to start with. After the incident in Dallas where the two teams fought, I think the people here in Cleveland were primed for some action last night, and then on top of that, just led to a very unpleasant situation.
but I think that a lot of it was manifested through the press and the radio media. Well, the people that I have talked to since I've been in Cleveland, before and after, indicate that the disc jockeys and the writers and the TV press media, all this thing is saying, well, let's get revenge on the Rangers for what happened in Texas.
Honestly, I don't think it had that much to do with the fracas that we had with y'all down there. It was just a case of an awful lot of people being a little bit too drunk, a case of not enough good baseball fans being in positions where they could have prevented it, and just too many guys got out of hand. The crowd control naturally was the main problem to start with. I wish that we would have had more security, and I wish that some punitive measures would have been taken as soon as a couple of fellas ran out on the field. I don't know what they could have done. Personally, I'd like to have seen a couple of them got whacked on the head. That might have stopped it all.
In the aftermath of this night, the rest of the country was outraged. This damaged their image of Cleveland. And yet, a month later, Cleveland held another beer night.
Has to be 200 people and more coming on the field. Has got some kid on the ground, and he is really administering a beating.
That fella came up and hit him from behind is what happened.
I have never seen anything